Hello and welcome to the Breakpoint, the only show in Mzansi that showcases the best of local tennis and shines a spotlight on South Africa's current and emerging tennis stars. South African Davis Cup captain Christopher van Rensburg has announced his team led by world-renowned double specialist Raven Klaasen to play against Luxembourg in February, which includes emerging South African tennis stars Chris van Wyk, Alec Beckley, as well as Devin Badenhorst, all of whom will be making their debuts in the international team competition. Luxembourg will host South Africa in the World Group 2 playoffs in February, the 4th all the way until the 5th, 2023, out in Luxembourg.
2022 was a roller coaster for me. The start of the year was quite tough for me. I tried breaking through and I was like on the verge, and I kept on pushing, worked on things I had to work on. And I think about August I started breaking through nicely, getting some good results on clay especially also, and after I went to Cairo on clay, I went to Sharm el Sheikh. I got my first singles pro 15,000 title, so I started really playing well then and picking up a lot of confidence, and I think I started really catching momentum, figuring out my game and what to do to win points, and I ended off the 2022 season really well.
It was a great year for me personally. I achieved a very high ranking for my juniors, 23 in the world. I was very proud of that, and now obviously going into the pro circuit, looking very forward to it, and then going to college in August. So it was a very good year for me. It's always been a big honour for me to represent my country, and it's always been a dream of mine to represent my country in the Davis Cup. My coach John Loughney also represented the country, and he told me what an honour it was for him and what a privilege it was for him. So it's a big thing for me to represent my country.
It's something that I really didn't, I wasn't waiting for it. I just was hoping for it, but to let it come when it was going to come, you know, because they have a lot of guys to choose from, and I haven't always been doing as well as I did now, so I just went about my business, and I'm really happy to be able to play for them for the first time.
Coach John Loughney de Jacker, who played and captained the SA team in the Davis Cup, gave the team some tips ahead of the competition.
Yeah, it's always a massive privilege to represent your country. I was very fortunate. I played Davis Cup for 7 years as a player, and then I was the captain for 10 years. It was so good. I always said, if they asked me, you want to go to play at Wimbledon or play for your country, and I would always say I play for my country. It's a great honour for Devin to be selected for the Davis Cup team. You know, I've coached him since he was 6 years old, and I've always told him that, you know, you always have to play Davis Cup. You know, he's asked questions when South Africans or players don't play Davis Cup, why? And I've told him that's one thing that you will do is, you know, you're always going to be available to play for South Africa because you have to represent your country. So being part of the Davis Cup team, you know, Christo's a great captain. He's going to learn a lot from Christo. Christo was my mentor when I was young. So I know what he's capable of when it comes to his coaching ability.
Yeah, so since my ankle has been fine last year, around middle December I've started training. I've really worked on my physical side, and since then I've just started training and trying to get myself on peak performance, trying to really get myself on the best physique, and I think now I'm playing 2 tournaments before Davis Cup will get me really ready competing. I'm going to play in Tunisia, so I'll be really making sure every aspect of my game is covered, making sure I'm playing well and feeling good and confident. So I'm very confident in the preparation for Davis Cup, and I'm excited for it.
It's pre-season, so that's the time of the year where you get to work extra hard and you make a lot of changes to your game, which is very frustrating. So the first month of pre-season has been extremely difficult because a new coach, and he's incredible. Federico is really good, but there's a lot of things that we needed to add to my game, or that we could add, and it's just frustrating. And finally, the last week we've been really starting to figure out and get some of the stuff, so now it's really good.
I mean, yeah, I think it's much different because I haven't really played a lot in a team environment. So I think that's also going to be very exciting for me because I've always wanted to, and I'm always excited for it. Because I remember when I was very younger, like school teams or provincial teams, it got me so excited and motivated, and the energy it lifts you up. So I think it'll just bring the best out of you. So yeah, I think for us it's something we need because it just makes us more motivating to work harder and to work towards something. So yeah, it's exciting for us.
We are playing indoors, so I expect it to be very fast. So I'm working on my 1, 2, 3 shots, serve, return, and the shot after that, because it is very fast indoors, so I'm working on that.
I mean, I can't wait to play with my teammates. I know Alec really well. Alec's a super fun and nice guy, and we kind of both started to do well at the same time in Egypt. So it's going to be great to see him again. And nice to meet Devin. I don't know much about him, so we'll see. And besides from that, I want to thank again Federico Copini, my coach, for helping me. And I mean, he's making my life a lot easier.
For me, it's simple. Stick to the base. Stick to the processes that you work on every day. Don't see it as don't make a big thing out of it. It's another match. Stick to your processes. Do the things that you do well. Believe in yourself. And at the end of the day, it's the person that can make the smart decisions and can play well under pressure that will come through.
The winner of the World Group 2 playoff tie between South Africa and Luxembourg will compete in the World Group 2 in September 2023, while the loser will be relegated to Regional Group 3 events. We wish Team South Africa all the best in the competition. Let's take a quick ad break. We'll be back with more of your tennis updates. Tennis South Africa's coaches' education system has been upgraded from silver to gold status by the International Tennis Federation on a 4-year period, which will end in December 31st, 2026. This further cements the country's reputation as a leader in tennis coaching development.
Firstly, we have a coaching structure which involves provinces, provincial bodies to make sure that we can provide coaches across the country with the necessary education opportunities, also opportunities for continuous learning, as coaching is a profession that requires lifelong learning. We offer coaching courses at different levels. We start from volunteer coaches that work at schools and clubs, going into play tennis coaches, working with beginner players. Then we look at national instructor coaches, working with your beginner intermediate players. Then we go to advanced instructor, working with your intermediate advanced. And then we have our professional coaches, working with your advanced players. And then we also recently now are self-sufficient up to our professional elite course, which then trains coaches to work with professional athletes.
With the sort of the educational programs and the updates we have on our courses, we as coaches become very familiar with the long-term player development, and it's really important to communicate this with the players, their parents and the coaches, so that you know exactly what to work with for the competencies for every specific age group. They come through 6 different age groups, and I've really seen the benefit of it in how we actually manage our teams. The players work very hard with their own private coaches, and the parents, we collaborate a lot with them as national coaches, but it's all about how well we manage the teams and help to bring the best out in them.
Look, across the world there's always not enough women, so we have started our coaches mentorship program, where we have every year had more than 50% of our coaches being female on the program. So we really try and promote to have more women in the game and more women in coaching, to also inspire young girls to play.
I've been coaching a long time, and with the updates and the continuous education, the coaches, the quality and level of coaching has really improved for our players to benefit from it. You can see it with their work ethic and with their training, especially as athletes. And I feel this helps us when we take our teams on tour.
Sepangchan is one of the aspiring coaches who went through TSA's tennis coaching development program, and he's now plowing the tennis skills and knowledge back into his community of Hammanskraal.
2022, I managed to do the play and stay course. It was a good course, it was a good experience. It was my first time doing it. Well, I've managed to learn enough about coaching, new stuff I didn't know, because I just came from playing to deciding to be a coach. So doing the course helped me a lot, and I've experienced enough.
For the zonals event that's just been played in Zimbabwe, one of our national junior coaches, Matega, he came through the coaches mentor program, and he's also a tutor in Limpopo. So it was great to have him as part of our team of national coaches.
Yeah, so one coach that comes to mind is a coach working at a school in Limpopo, near Polokwane, and she started on the mentorship program just as a teacher, but also trying to promote tennis at the school. And she's completed 2 levels of coaching and also attended the 3rd one. She's still in the process of completing her assessments, and they are entering into the Rising Star events, and she's really helped some of the players to come through and play even in the local tournaments.
The award places South Africa as the first African country and the 19th nation in the world to meet the world governing body's Gold Award quality standard for coach education self-sufficient up to ITF coaching high performance players course level.
The ITF, together with the ITF Coaches Commission, have put together a set of criteria so that coaches can get recognized for the coaches education systems that they've put in place. The ITF board has adopted these criteria, and it involves different components, looking at the National Association structure. It looks at the registration and the training that we require to register with us. It also includes different levels of what are the different levels with the resources that we use to train our coaches. It also requires us to train tutors and assessors to do assessments, and then it also looks at a CPD structure, so continuous education for our coaches within our country. And the gold status really means that we can provide the highest level of coaches education for coaches in South Africa that don't have to go out of the country to receive this education opportunities.
Receiving the news of our gold status has given us incredible pride in TSA, especially being one of the first African countries to receive gold status, because the ITF sets very, very high standards. And previously when I was touring, I would always be in awe of the first world countries in Europe, who had this status. And it's just such a pleasure now we've come the long distance through TSA's continual education programming to be able to qualify in that category. The ITF offers wonderful resources with the ITF Academy with online courses that are certified, and we're encouraged to do as many of these as possible. There are also amazing resources of ebooks, and we have monthly scientific reviews that are available to us that we can then take forward to the players.
From the course that I did, I'm looking forward to doing the next level course, which is the national instructor. Looking forward to learning a lot and more about everything I've learned before, and even more.
Our coaching certification is recognized internationally, so this does put a little bit of pressure on us, to maintain a high standard and the reputation. And even now when we were at Zonal, we saw the other nations really looking up to us South Africans as a nation, and to see our work ethic and how we train with the players on tour.
Well, this award has placed us as the first African country to receive gold recognition. We've had silver recognition for the past years that we've maintained. Now our role would be to also maintain the status. And we also form part of 19 nations worldwide to have received the recognition, together with countries like Australia, Great Britain, and the Grand Slam nations, basically.
Tennis South Africa continues to support ongoing coach development by providing quality education opportunities and programs, as well as creating opportunities for enthusiastic coaches. Let's take a quick ad break. We'll be back with more of your tennis updates. The 100,000 Rands Kaya Matega Sport Premier Tennis Challenge recently took centre stage at Selbourne Park in East London, with the country's best players competing for top honours.
Well, this is the third time the event is taking place. It started 2020, 2021 during COVID, and amazingly that was the period where we had more entries. Unfortunately, last year we couldn't do it. Then we felt that it's quite imperative to put it together and position the event again this year. There are two folds on this event. You know, we have athletes who can afford. You know, as you know, Eastern Cape is poor. However, we are called the home of legends, simply because we believe we can administer sport. We are known about that. That's why we are called the home of legends. Also in terms of participating, you know, in any platform, either rugby, cricket, boxing, you name it. We've got quite a number of good, promising, you know, athletes from Port Elizabeth, also around the outskirts of Buffalo City. We had over 20 athletes, development athletes, that we have allowed to participate in this event for free. The event is sanctioned by Tennis South Africa. We have allowed them to participate in this event. What does it mean to them? It means that they receive incentives, they gain exposure, and again, they gain experience, and they are able to prosper going forward.
So we believe that sports brings communities and people together, and it's really in line with what we do at Halcyon. Empowerment, youth development is very, very important, and just bringing people together. So we're just so grateful to be part of the tennis tournament.
Well, this is the first year we've been involved. We missed last year, but going forward we'd like to be involved as long as the tournament's running. Well, it's a great thing for East London, so well done to KM Sports and BCM for holding this event. We enjoy being involved with sport. My kids play sport and tennis, and we're always excited to be involved with youth development.
We support Kaya and his tournament here. It's a great tournament, great for development, great for prize giving. Pity the draws was a bit small. But I think it's something to look at, your rescheduling dates and stuff like that. But this is for us as a good showcase. This, you know, that this is how they host tournaments, the prize money and stuff like that. I think is good, and I think all other provinces can sort of use this as a benchmark as well for hosting high quality tournaments as well.
The Premier Prize Money event was contested in 4 age categories, namely under 12, under 14, under 16 and open for boys and girls, men and women.
I played well, but I had an excellent opponent.
My journey through this tournament has been very good. I started off with a good match, and then I ended off on probably the best match I've ever played. I think I played really well, followed by my opponent. He really gave me a tough game today. And as I said, it was really good competition.
I did feel well, and I was really playing my shots, and I'm sure my coaches are also happy because I was applying everything that they said, and that's how you win the game, by just applying everything that you were taught. And there was also pressure.
It was a very good game. I played my doubles partner, so it was very intense, but it was a good game. I just wanted to stay confident and go in there with a positive mind, never look at the negatives, and I just wanted to stay consistent and play my game no matter what.
Yeah, the tournament was tough, but I was mostly afraid of the finals because this guy played, he has a massive serve and a massive forehand, and yeah, it's too big for me, and I've never won against him before in my life. So it was big for me, and I was training this whole 3 weeks before the tournament. I was just training to play against him in the final. That was my goal, my main goal for the tournament.
Today I was solid. Today I felt really solid. I was clean, I was sharp. I felt much better than I played than I did yesterday, to be honest.
I played really well. All my shots were working, and yeah, it was a really tough game.
Practice is the most common thing that I do. It was a very tough journey to the finals in men's. I mean, this is my first year playing men's, so it's actually quite tough. Played my coach now, it's actually quite nerves for me, and it's a once in a lifetime opportunity.
I was trying to give him more of a lesson in certain areas. I didn't try and embarrass him. I tried to just make him learn and pick up a few things. So most importantly is play for every point and not give away any free points. So I fought for every game. There were a few moments where I felt a bit for him. I could see he was struggling, but I knew why he was struggling, and it was just so I could understand where he was coming from. And so there I felt for him, but I didn't give it to him. I didn't give in.
You know, I must first thank Tennis South Africa for sanctioning the event. All the media partners. Thank you, parents, for your support. Continue to support our kids. The last one are the players. Those are the most important people who sacrifice in the morning, during the day, to make sure that they are ready for participation. I think they've represented themselves very well. Thanks for everybody who supported the event. On behalf of Kaya Matega Sports Promotions, which is known as KM Sports, we say thank you.
Congratulations to all of the winners of the 100,000 Rands Kaya Matega Sport Premier Challenge event. We hope to see you again next year. And that brings us to the end of what has been an exciting episode of The Breakpoint Show. Do join us on all our social media platforms and tell us about your personal tennis experience, and also keep updated with the action of all of your favorite SA tennis stars on and off the court. Share your photos and your videos of your tennis program using #BreakpointShow, and also tag us on all social media platforms. On Twitter, we are @TennisSA. On Facebook, it's Tennis South Africa, or simply go on to Instagram, we are @tennis_SA. Until next month, it's goodbye for now.